Habits, remember habits? Habits get formed. Habits get formed. Parents, it really has been a real pleasure to be involved in this program now since 1999. I started out in capacity and moved out to Colorado in 2007 and started to work with the larger ministry out there in different angles. And then about 2 years ago, became involved in some of the larger conversations that were happening around the country on worldview issues. Started to work with a group called the Colson Center for Christian Worldview, the ministry of a guy named Chuck Colson. Worked with him for the last 2 years. Worked with him until the day he stopped working, as he was standing on that stage, and we watched the energy kind of flow out of his body as he was making his very, very last appeal that he would make. Although when he was in and out of consciousness in the hospital after that stroke, he did try to make some appeals to the doctors, I heard. And he talked about things that he deeply believed in. But that day, as he was holding on to the podium, and we found out later, really holding on for life, as he was trying to communicate the last thing that was on his heart. The word that came out, basically summed up that Christians today need a great deal of courage. We need to have courage. Not the same world we grew up in. Not even the same world I grew up in. That wasn't that long ago. The culture that these guys are inheriting are one in which one that's more post-Christian than when Schaeffer first called it post-Christian. Students, we talked about this. You've inherited a culture that desperately is running away from God. And here's the thing, though. A culture that runs away from God is one that runs directly into slavery. Why? Because the truth sets us what? Free. And as Professor Robert George said that night as Chuck was holding on to that podium, that same night Professor Robert George described what it meant to have courage. And what he said is, we need bold truth tellers. Bold people who understand the truth and courageously will articulate it in a winsome way. And I'm not saying this to tell you that the world's without hope, that there's nothing we can do, that we can be bold truth tellers and all we'll be is the remnant that just stands around while the world goes to hell. Like I told you this morning, I hope your generation will be the one that seizes the culture like the Clapham group did and Wilberforce did and helped spiral that culture back upwards. But I don't know. I can't tell you that. But I can tell you this. There's a reason that day in and day out, I love what Summit does. And I invest in what Summit does. And it's because this 2 weeks is not about Summit. This 2 weeks is about mobilizing a generation that will boldly tell the truth in a winsome, loving, articulate way to a culture that desperately needs to hear it. And by doing that, guys, by doing that, you actually can make an enormous difference in our world and in people's lives. And that really matters, because God created a lot of things. He only created one thing that bears his image. Every single person you meet is someone who was made and is loved by God.
Amen.
Every single person you meet is one for whom Christ died. Every single person you meet is one who deserves to have the truth told to them in a winsome, bold, loving, articulate way. But you know what? You can make a difference. And I know that because for the last 2 years, a guy who's made a difference in millions of lives, Chuck Colson, made an enormous difference on mine. In 2 years, I won't be the same because of the relationship that I have with him. But you say, well, that's Chuck Colson, and I'm not Chuck Colson. I don't have a daily radio program that goes out to 1,500 radio stations and millions of people around the world and is listened to by many. I'm not a former president's aide that has this huge platform. And you're right. But see, I don't just know this because of the influence Chuck Colson had in my life. Because on that list of people that influenced me, one of them being Chuck, the other one was someone who I met when I was much, much younger. In fact, I was in the 9th grade. And she was 89 years old. I met her not because I wanted to. I met her because I was sent to visit her It was that half day of school before Christmas break at my really tiny little Christian school. And what I mean by tiny, it was so tiny that my Bible teacher was the assistant principal, was also the assistant pastor of the church. And our Bible class was 9th through 12th grade boys all together. And so we showed up on that half day of school before Christmas break, where all kinds of academic rigor gets accomplished. No, what are you expecting on the half day before Christmas break? You're expecting a party, because it's the half day before Christmas break. But instead of a party, our principal, who was also the assistant pastor, who was also our Bible teacher, had a different idea. He said, I'm going to take a 9th grader and a 10th grader who can't drive. I'm going to partner you with an 11th and 12th grader who can drive, and you're going to go visit the shut-ins from our church for Christmas. You can imagine how excited we were about this prospect. You know what I mean by shut-ins? Like elderly folks who can't get out of their house or anything. So we were being sent 2 by 2 to go visit these shut-ins. We were not happy. Now, I got to admit, I was in the 9th grade. I was not a good kid. I didn't love the Lord, didn't really know the Lord. I was what you might call a 9th grade hypocritical Christian school jerky little kid. You know what I mean? And in fact, it wasn't just me. I got partnered with a guy who was kind of a bigger jerk than me. His name was Bryan. In fact, he just got out of prison not too long ago. So seriously. And we got these 2 names, and they said, here, go visit these 2 ladies. And I said, Bryan, I don't want to go see these 2 ladies. What are we going to do? Because I don't want to see them either. He goes, okay, I got an idea. We'll go visit the first lady. We'll take the other lady's name. We'll throw it in the garbage, and we'll tell our principal that we couldn't find her house. Then we'll be done early, and we can go to the mall and meet some girls. I thought that was a great idea. I also had a high estimation of my capacity to attract women. So we went to visit the first lady's house. Her name was Miss Buckner. She opened the door as a 9th grader, 11th grader, and an 89-year-old woman. We didn't have a lot in common. As we started to talk, the conversation was dragging, to say the least. And then she said, I know, let's sing Christmas carols together. We only sang one, and then she said, okay, that's enough. We got done singing, and we said, well, Miss Buckner, we really need to leave because we need to go visit this other lady, which was a complete lie because we were going to the mall. And she said, well, before you go, let's pray. And so I prayed. Bryan prayed. That took about 45 seconds. So, and then she prayed. I don't know if you've ever heard anyone pray, but as they pray, you look up because you think that they're actually talking to Jesus face to face. I've been a Christian my whole life. I've never heard a prayer like that. It blew me away. With that prayer, my whole opinion of her changed. We walked out of that house kind of floored by that prayer. I can't really explain the next part of the story. It was about 2 years later that I thought of Miss Buckner. It was near Christmas 2 years later. It wasn't because I was walking with the Lord or anything like that, but I just kind of felt this nudge, go see Miss Buckner, go see Miss Buckner. So I told my mom, she thought it was a great idea. I told my girlfriend, this girl that I was dating at the time, it wasn't a great decision. He was making really bad decisions with her. And she said, why don't I want to go see this lady? I said, I need to go see her. She said, why don't we go see this old woman? I said, just trust me, I need to go see her. And I needed her to take me because I didn't have a driver's license. She thought it was such a dumb idea. She drove me to the house and she wouldn't even get out of the car. I went and knocked on the door. I said, Miss Buckner, I don't know if you remember who I am. My name is John. I came to visit you 2 years ago. And she said, John, I prayed for you this morning. That woman prayed for me every day for the last 8 years of her life. To this day, I have no idea what she has prayed me into and out of. About a year and a half later, God really got a hold of my heart. Things really began to change. And I started to follow the Lord, try to trust the Lord, try to grow in the Lord. And I went back to see Miss Buckner, and I would go back to see her over and over and over. And every time I would see her, she would be praying for me. She would read scripture to me. And when she would read, she would quote scripture to me. And she was listening to the scripture always on tape. And she would pray for people. And you know what? Then I went back and during the summers after college, and I worked as a youth intern in the church, and I would take people to go see Miss Buckner. Everyone I ever took to see Miss Buckner walked out of the house the same way. Man, that woman's awesome. I took 2 9th grade boys once that I was discipling to go see her. And as they were walking out the door, one of these 9th graders looked at the other one and said, when I grow up, I want to marry someone just like her. 93. I graduated from college and stayed in touch with Miss Buckner. And again, she would just pray for me and quote scripture for me. And if I had her pray for someone You told me to pray for her. Yeah, I don't know. You know, I mean, it's just, and she just prayed, and she just prayed, and she just prayed. I graduated from college, and I had a couple opportunities. I went to work up at a church in Michigan for about 3 or 4 months. And at the end of that time, they offered me a full-time job. They were going to have me stay. They were going to put me through seminary. They were going to give me a job, a place to stay. It was a pretty sweet gig. The other option was to actually go back and spend a year in a country that I had spent a week and 2 weeks, actually 2 weeks for the time frame before, doing some short-term mission work, and that was in Jamaica. And I had this opportunity. Jamaica was a pretty cool place to visit. It was a really hard place to live. And I just didn't know what to do. I'd have to raise my own support, and I started seminary, and I prayed about it. And I just felt like I needed to go to Jamaica. So I went back to Miss Buckner, and I had her praying for me. And I said, Miss Buckner, I think I'm going to go to Jamaica. And her eyes just lit up, and she said, I just knew that's where God was going to send me. So now I'm definitely going to Jamaica. And we got done that conversation that day, and when we talked about it, and it was so interesting because she was at this point 97 years old. She had a pretty rough health year. Been in and out of surgery, been in and out of the hospital, had an unbelievable mind, kept her mind to the day she died. And that day, when we said goodbye, we didn't say goodbye because we just knew she was 97. She wasn't going to make it out that year. She wasn't going to make it till I came back. And we talked about it. And that day, we didn't say goodbye. We said, I'll see you then. About a month and a half after I was down in Jamaica, I got a call from my mom. She said, Josh, like you know, Buckner, Jesus last night. And I went out on my front porch and I sat there. And I'm a guy who likes to figure things out. I want to think about it. I want to figure it out, right? And I sat down there and I tried to imagine this moment where this lady who had spent so much of her life getting to know Jesus Christ after me. When her faith became sight, it was just too much for me. You know, I walked into that lady's house, hypocritical, snotty-nosed, jerky, mind-free kid. Didn't like her. Didn't want to be there. I lied to her face. She changed my life. She changed my life. I never once saw her when she could leave a 20 by 20 extension on the end of her grandson's house. The only time in 8 years where I saw her she was not stuck in that little room was in the hospital after she had surgery. And we hung out for 2 weeks. I don't know you that well, but I'm pretty sure no one's here stuck in a 20 by 20 extension on the end of your grandson's house. Is that where you're going? She changed my life. 3 years ago, I got invited to go back and speak at the graduation of that high school that I graduated from. And I told this story. And as soon as I mentioned the name Miss Buckner, I looked across this audience for 500, 600, 700 people, and all across the audience, heads were just bobbing up and down. And I realized this woman who couldn't leave her house not only impacted my life, she impacted an entire community. She did with what she had, which wasn't much, everything that she could. She gave it to the Lord, and the Lord gave her influence. The Lord gave her prayer. The Lord gave her changed lives. What do you have that belongs to Him? You now have more information. A lot of it. You now have more books. You now have a sharper mind. You now have a new way of seeing things. You now have things that you did not have before. And you still have your gifts, your talents, your families, your redeemed failures, your successes, your visions, your dreams, and your decisions. See, this is why we do what we do. This is why we want to catalyze and mobilize. Not that you just come and learn a whole lot of stuff and then repeat it to somebody, but that you can actually walk out under the authority of truth and make a difference in the lives of those who are made in the image and the likeness of God. God gives us the Mrs. Buckners in our lives so that we will become them for other people. This is how it goes. This is how it goes. Father, bless this group. Thank you for the wonderful 2 weeks we have had together. Thank you for the way that you've gifted them. Thank you for the way that you brought them to this place. God, thank you for the days ahead. God, I pray that you would protect them from evil one. God, I pray that you would give them clear perspective and vision on what to do with their lives, on how to love each other,